freely several data is there, we can try that. We can try. For example, see what they give here. I will go to, after login, I already logged in my account. I go to API category. In API category, you see these are weather API. In this, you scroll down, you see current weather data is there. In current weather data, you see they have given subscribe. Subscribe is to get live data, exact accurate live data, and more details also. If you are using free, they will give you 1 hour back data. That means 1 hour back in that city, what's the weather. So nearest value you will get, you will not get accurate. But if you pay money, then they will give you exact live data to you. Now see here, in the current weather data, you have API doc. You go to API doc. You can see this is the API document. In this API document, actually they give so many options here. You can observe geocoding built-in API by city name, by city ID, by pin code. We will take city name. We'll take the city name. I will click the city name. And you see they given the API request here. In this API request, you observe here the API request, it is having a HTTPS, some API open weather map org, this one. The query string is having a queue, and queue have a city name, and app ID is API key. We learned how to read query strings now. We discussed about how to use the query strings. Actually, this API have units of metrics. You can see standard, metric, various units are present. And the parameter is nothing but, so weather API, you have units as metric. Metric means it will show you 20 degrees Celsius degrees. It will convert into degrees. So you have imperial, you have multi-language support also. Actually, you need 3 parameters actually. What are those 3 parameters is? One parameter is Q. Q is expecting the city name. Another parameter is app ID. It is expecting API key. Another parameter is metrics. So units is what? Metric. That means it will return the data in your required number format. That is, we will see that. Now the point is here, we need to copy this URL. I will copy this URL. This is the URL. And the process I will give you step by step. I will give the process. In this URL, you need one more ampersand. What is it? Units. Units is equal to what it is? Metric. Metric is the units. Without that, how it will look like, I will show you. You remembered already, we learned how to get the query string. We learned, later you will learn more when you learn about state management. We will have a separate session of state management. As of now, so it is expecting the city name, app ID, and all this. So what you have to do is, this app ID is API key. API key means when you registered an account, so to access any data, you need this API keys. Go to your profile and select my API keys. It will give you the API keys here. I need to sign in into my account. Okay, they will give the API key. So you see, this is the API key. And this is only for my IP address, my PC. You can't use my API key. You have to use your own. It will not work. Any another API keys will not work. Because for an IP address, it will recognize. For my PC IP address, that is the key. Your PC IP address, different. They will give a different API. This is the API key. This is the API key. Now what happens is that is my API key, and here you have to replace that API with that API key. City name comes from the city name. What city you want, you have to define the city name. So temporarily, let's do this. Means just I am using up to here. Let me copy this. Yeah, paste. Here city name, I will set it to Hyderabad. Okay, API key is this one. That is the API key. I will paste that API key there. API ID is API key. Units is what? Metric. Let me copy this URL. Open in the browser and paste that URL and hit enter. And you can see this is the data coming. And you see the data is coming like this. This is the data coming from live weather API. That's the data it is coming from that. And you see the data is returned in a JSON form. And what it is returning one object. In that object, so much is there. In that object, coordinates, that is latitude, longitude. In that object, another property is weather. Another property is base. Another property is main. And you see another property, visibility, wind, clouds. And you see name is Hyderabad. Now what is the point is, as a developer, your job is to understand this data correctly. If you cannot understand, you cannot present anything, right? The purpose, the main concept for a developer is to understand the data. You need to understand which type of data is present, in which hierarchy it is present. If you don't understand this data, you cannot present. Already we know it because we are not new to JSON. We already saw that. And you see, this is JSON, means one object is coming. In that, all these details are there. I want only few details. When anybody search for the weather in a city, I want city name. I want how much its description. Description is this one: clear sky, smoky, mist. So different types of descriptions will be there. I want that description and see where the description is present. Now think that this is data. Data is an object. In this object, how to get the description? How to get the description? Tell me. See the hierarchy. We have data. Data dot, what is it? Weather. Weather is an array type. Have you seen? Weather is an array, na? That means square brace. In that array, there is only one index. Only one index is there in that array. That is 0. At that 0 index, there is an object. That object have a key. What is that key? Description. This is how we can get the description. How to get the temperature? How to get the temperature? It is like data dot what? Main in that what? Temperature. That is the temperature. It is getting the temperature. city name is like data dot name, I think. Directly name is there below. It is getting that name. That means directly name is there. So it is going to get that name. Directly name is there, it will get that. Now these details I want to show. Right? Anybody, you see now, just I change here. So you see current temperature is 30 degrees and it feels like 29. Right? And you see I change here city as what? Delhi, and enter, and you see Delhi details are this, and it is still haze, and it is 21, feels like 20. Right? That means every city have a different weather. Suppose I say Chennai, and it will get that, and it will show that here. It is also like 30, 29. It is also haze. Right? That means it is showing different kinds of weather data now. I need to present it. Let's see how to create a presentation. That means for a developer, data is provided like this. What is your job? Design a UI, user interface. For example, you see, so here we have weather, and you see weather shows like this. To get precise details of area, city, everything, you need to buy. They will not provide all these details accurate. You see, it shows 30. And here also you see what is the Hyderabad weather. We defined some Hyderabad, and it is also showing approximately same na 30. That means the weather it is showing is same. And you see, suppose I am searching for Delhi, Delhi, and you see it is showing whether it is like temperature is 21. Suppose I given like Delhi, and you see it is 22. I already told you, like, so that means they will not give the accurate. That means the nearest. Actually, this is 1 hour back or few minutes back. They don't give accurate because you are using a free one. If you are buying, they give a different API key. With that key, you will get the live exact data. So not only that, you will get a lot of more details. Now, what is our job is we need to display in a good format. We need to display in a good format. How we can display in a good format? That means how we can present in that format. That's your HTML, CSS skills, right? Date, time, later we will learn, because for that we need to learn date and time functions, separate date type. As of now, our job is just data. Let's create one presentation here. What I will do now is you copy this URL. How to get this URL? You learned na process. I will give you the process here first. So first point, what you have to do is, so visit this website. Visit this website. Sign up with your email. So sign in into your account, and what you have to do is go to API category, scroll to current weather. You have to scroll to the current weather. So they will give you the, in the API category, you need to scroll to the current weather data, current weather data. Select which one in the current API doc. And here we have to go to select actually built in. So built-in API request by city name. Right. So this will give you this URL by city name. This will give you the URL. This is the URL. I will copy this URL for you in the notes. And this is the URL. And one more extra, what you have to do is, so Q is equal to some Hyderabad, that is the city name, something I given. What is app ID? App ID actually your API key. You have to use your API key. One more is there. What is it? At the net units is equal to what? Metric. That is already fixed. That is. If you remove that, default units will not be in metrics. It will show 128, 320, 140 like that. We want to convert it into our units into degrees. So Fahrenheit, temperatures, these all conversions are important. For that, they have ready-made metrics. You can use any metric here. Your API key, where you will get it from your profile API keys. From your profile API keys, you need to get the API key. Right? That is what you need to do. Okay. So let's create a simple design here for dealing with this. And actually, how we handle this, I will show. We will go with go with this one. So weather forecast. So this is the weather forecast related some images we are having. These are all, yeah, that means these are different ideas of presenting your data. Date and time also important, but we can't show that now because for that we need to learn date and time functions. Okay, so let's take any example here. We want just an sample example of background image so that we can display the data. Okay, let's take this example. This is something. A sample image is there. Just a sample image is there. And we keep download. Oh, it's a PSD file, I think. That means it's vector graphics. They have given vector graphics. Extract. Vector graphics means nothing but some Photoshop file they might have given. Okay, there is 2643 JPG file is there. Some photo, okay. Now we can use this or a simple weather one, we can use it. Okay. So now once you got the idea of these designs, we will try to implement these designs, these kind of designs. So let's create the design and see here. This also I will copy. These are all actually widgets. Later in jQuery, you will understand them. Copy into our project folder. Let's open our project. And this is the project location. And we have public images. Let me copy this. Okay. Weather. Okay. I just given this, but actually we don't need all of that. As of now, I don't need all of this. I just need a small. Actually, here we have to replace our content in this design. City name, temperature, everything. We need to create widgets like this. That is the idea of our presentation. But still, we don't know how to display the temperature. Means we don't know how to display this one. What is it? Weekday and everything. But we'll just keep this idea. Temporarily, I will copy this image here up to this. This also I will not keep, because the rest of the part I will design, means we will keep that. Let's save this and let's create this now. That entire widget we should able to do. So weather.html, let's create a simple presentation. Link relation style sheet, node modules, icons, CSS, and we will just keep a div. So class as widget like this. And in the body section style, I'll give the style in the body section. Display flex, justify content center, align item center and height as 100 VH. Okay. And the widget we are having width as 400 pixel, height as 300 pixel, because we don't want to show everything now. So we have background image URL. It is dot slash images, public images weather JPG. So background size I will keep as cover. Okay. Now the gadget is that is the gadget we are having. The original size is this. Okay. And actually, if I don't give cover, it's not there. Okay, fine. And we will keep here with some 600 pixel. That is fine. Suppose if I give the background size, so this is 50%. Okay. Background repeat as no repeater, and position. Oh, sorry, background position. Background position as center right. Okay. And actually, we will have a background color. So some sky blue, that is the background color. It will be like this. Here I want to display other details. This is approximately everything similar to that. That's fine. That means not exact I am giving, almost similar to that. That's okay. Now here we want to display other details. That means in this area, I want to display city name and all. We need a search box also to handle the search pattern. We will design like that widget later, exactly the same. But just now, what we will do is, so box shadow, so 10 pixel, 10 pixel, and 2 pixel black. So box shadow, okay. Okay, that's the widget we are having. Fine, that's okay. Now we will put a search bar into this. Just for clarity's sake, I created that. So in this we have a div, and another we are having a div. So that means display as what? Grid template columns. How many we will give? 6 fraction will be fine for that. Okay. And now here we will give, we will use this bootstrap icons also, and link relation style sheet, node modules, bootstrap dist css, bootstrap dot css. Okay. Now what we will do in this, we are using a div. So class input group, we have input type is text, class form control. So button class bi search, okay, and btn and btn primary, and that is the search bar we are having. Info or warning. Okay, then this div will keep padding 20 pixel. Some gap will be there. That's fine. And here we will put a placeholder. What is it? So enter city name. That's the placeholder. Now, when I typed this city name and hit this button, details I need. That means that city weather I want to display. we need to display the city weather and show the weather. Then how do we do that? So we need to get the data and display the data. So here I keep a heading. This is having class ID as LBL city. Okay. So we will put here. This is like some where it is showing something here. Style padding as some 40 pixel. So that's fine. Then it will display in this way. So that's enough. So 50 pixel all directions. It is like this. And color I'll give as white. So that's fine. That's dominating. It's okay. Suppose we give some 60, 70, then it will be fine. Okay. Like this I'm giving. And there actually the city name should come. Complete city name should display there. Okay. Next. What about the temperature? You can keep the city name anywhere you want, but temperature here I want to display. That means below this, I will keep another div and I will put a span ID as what? Some LBL temperature. LBL temperature we are adding. Okay. So actually here 25 degree. Just I'm roughly keeping that there. Style, we will just put a class deflex, justify content, center, align items, center. Okay. And height 100% of the parent, it will be fine. Okay. Now for this, we will give a different size, font size and all. I will give different. That means hash LBL temperature will be font size some 70 pixel, font family as Arial. Like this we are giving. Okay. Now let's put the basic details first. Later we will add others, right? First on the search click. Where is this button? On click. What is it? Search click. On search click. So we have to write the logic. Let's put the script. What is the function? Search click. On search click, first we have to get the city name. How do you get the city name? From this text box we need to get ID as txt what? City. So document dot get element by ID txt city dot what? Value. Right. Then where I need an API key. API key I need. API key is from this website, my API key. I need to copy my API key and I should keep that here. This is the API key, right? So we have a city name and API key are ready. Now we need the complete URL. Where URL? URL is what I will use a backtick. In the backtick, I will copy that URL. This is the URL we are having now. Copy this URL and paste that here. Okay. In this here, we need to get the city name dynamically. That means here we have to use dollar curly brace. That is binding expression. What it is? City name. And here also we need to bind the value. What is it? Dollar curly brace. Here what we have to get? API key. Our API key and city name. We are accessing that. Metrics is how much? Metric is this one. This is the URL. Units is metric. Okay. Now what we have to do? We need to fetch. So fetch from URL. We are fetching from URL. And when we fetch from URL dot what, then we'll get a function which will get a response. Initially, that return the response in the format of JSON. After that, call the then function, you get the weather. This is nothing but weather, I will say data something. We'll get the data. Data is an object. Now in that object, what details are present? I need to display those details. That means what we have to do. So we need to observe the details, what details are coming, and we need to present temporarily what I am using, console log data. Okay, let's go to the design. You entered the city name and go to the console here, inspect in the console, and you click on the search. It should get the data. And in the data, you can see the details are there. In that, I want, what is it, first name, city name. That means what we have to do, document dot get element by ID, LBL name dot what, inner HTML. What we want to display here is data. Data is what the data is coming in that what name. I will put a break. In that I will put here data dot weather of 0 dot what description. You saw na? Right? So that means it is going to get that and display. You entered the name some Delhi. It will get the city and display. What is it? Null. What is it? LBL, not LBL name. What is it? LBL city. Huh? It is not LBL name. It is what? LBL city. Okay. I entered Delhi and click on search. It will get the Delhi. That is the city name. And city name, and it is going to get that information. I will keep this as description is a string actually, dot to uppercase, uppercase. The name also I will keep as dot to uppercase. That means it will display that in uppercase. It will show like this, right? It is showing like this. And this we can add in a different effect also. So what to do? This I will keep in a span. And here I will keep a class as text warning. Then I entered some detail and say it will show like this. Actually, that is required with some more padding or that. So padding 80, 90, I given that, then it will be better. Just it will show in this way. I'm just giving the data. You can make it better later. So appearance and all, we can make it better. Just initially I'm getting the details. Initially I'm getting the details and displaying. You keep in center or anywhere you want, that will get that and it will show. Okay, next about what about the temperature we need to get? So LBL temperature, we need to get LBL temperature. Here what we have to do, document dot what, get element by ID, LBL temperature dot what, inner HTML. Inner HTML is what? So we need to get data dot, what is it? Main. You see in the data, they have a main. In the main, there is a temperature. In the main, they have temp. Right. So in main, it is what? Temperature. Temperature ampersand DEG semicolon and C. I'm just writing like this. Then you see, I entered Delhi and the temperature is this. So it is showing the temperature this 22 degrees Celsius. That means here I will give temperature. Yeah. So 60 pixel, color is what? White. Now enter Delhi. It will get that and show. We don't want the complete value. Then you know how to display the temperature. We can use math dot round to the nearest number. You don't want the fractions now, then it will get you 22 degrees Celsius. That will show that here. We can add lot of more details. I'm just adding only 1, 2 details. The name, city and this. And I am searching for here another city. What is it? Hyderabad. And it will get me that and display. That means it is going to get the details and display. Chennai. That means it gets that and display. Right? This few clouds, the text which is shown. So FS font size as suppose 6 or 5 or 6. That means this will be little smaller. That means if I say Chennai and say this and it will say few clouds. Right? So this is little different size we are displaying. Different size will be there. Alignments and all we can change. This I am typing and say search, it will get me that and show. Actually, we can add lot of more details. The icons, the Celsius, that means what we do here. Where is the temperature I am showing? Yeah. Here, let's put this temperature as 50. Okay. Then here we have what? Icons. We can put the icons here. Yeah. So we have a span and close the span. So class as BI sun fill. Just roughly I'm giving that. And you entered this Delhi, it will get that and it will show. All other things we can add according to our requirement. We can add. The size is required to increase little bit. Then it will better display all the content. 700. So here you are adding the details and it will get that and it will show. And so many other icons are there. You have to try them. Other icons means wind, right? How much speed. So you see the other details that you should try now. You have a lot of other details now. Wind, speed is how much? 3.6, 180 degree, right? That means how they show this weather. So weather, how they show the wind, where they have given. Here they have given 5 kmph, humidity 28%. That means here, where is that? Wind is 3.6 kmph and humidity anywhere they given. This is clouds and sunrise, sunset. Humidity is there. So these kind of details we can add anywhere we want. Right? That means how you define. So speed, they are having any icons? They don't have any icons, just they have wind and humidity. And how to access that wind and humidity? We can use this technique. Where is it? It is in main. In main we have what? Humidity. And wind is directly available. Wind is having a speed, right? So how do you display the other data? Suppose we want to display something below this. So below this, we have a data list, data term. This is what wind. Data definition ID as what LBL wind. And data term humidity. And ID as what LBL humid. Something like this. That means we are having a data list there. And this, oh, it is coming here. We have to keep this here. Below the temperature, we will keep it. Wind and humidity will come here. And actually, this requires uh, alignments and all we need to add correctly. So I'll keep in a div. That will be fine. And how do you keep them side by side? So class is text lighter. Okay. And what else? Row. And here we are having class as what? Call. This is nothing but you are keeping side by side. Content will be side by side. Already we know that how do we keep side by side row and column, how we add that, because so if I add a number, it will come there. Side by side, one below another. If you want, you can display in any way, right? So this is fine. Now what we have to do, if I don't use call, this is what call is 2 or 3. This is call as what? 9. Call 3 and this is call as what? 9. They will come like this. And we have some wind that will display there. And how do we show this? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? LBL wind dot inner HTML. We have to get it from where? Data dot wind. Wind only na. So dot what speed? KMPH. KMPH. That's what we are displaying there. One more is there. Get element by ID LB will humid dot inner HTML. What we need to do? So data dot what? Main dot what? Humidity. Humidity percent. That's we need to get. And we are entering some details and it will get that and show. It is going to get that and display. And this is Hyderabad and it will get that and it will show. Right? It is going to get that and display. So we can use, remember here a lot of error handling also will be there. For that we need to understand all the API endpoints of them. If city is not found, what should happen? It should show a message. I can't show city. For example, here, see, we have London and I click on search. It gets that and show. Right? It gets that and display. Right? So we are looking for any city. So it will get that city and it will display that. So you have to just enter some Paris I defined and it should get that and show. And if it is not there, so if it is not there, suppose you see you entered something, if it is not there, then it should show some error. For the error also, we need to understand the API for them. What is the basic API error request? We need to catch that and we need to display. We will see, we will explore all those content. We are still in the basic of understanding how do you fetch and just use the basic data. Here error handling, so much we will learn, will understand. And see, they will not provide you all the data free, right? Only some limitations they will give. So if you subscribe, they will give you the more. You can see. So that means hourly forecast 48 hours, minute wise forecast. So you can see 46 years back historical data, UV index, dew points. So air quality, UV index, everything is required, which they don't give in free. They will provide in limited. So you will get accurate. You have to buy this. And you once you buy any account in the API keys, they will give you that key. That key is with a paid service, you will get accurate data. See here, one point is that if I don't use this metrics, this metric units, that means you see here in the URL, I'm not using this unit. Actually, in their URL, they haven't given it. In the URL, they have given up to app ID only. They said that additionally, if you want to change the units, you can use a parameter called units. So we need to explore all that information. So you see here, suppose when I don't use that, I entered some name and click on search. You see, it will show this 295 degrees Celsius. That means it is showing units. So it is showing units in a different way. I need to convert this into our required format. Then what we have to do? We need to add one more option. What is it? Units. Units is equal to metric. There are several other units also given by them. Actually, in the API document, you can see in the API document, you see the units, they have given units. You see the units they have given for Fahrenheit, so imperial. For Celsius, units as what? Metric. That means you use this unit or this unit. We want in Celsius, then you have to use the units as parameter. That depends. For that, they have given so many options. And remember, as of now, we are designing this based on the city name, based on the city we are accessing. Not like that. Later, what you can do is whenever anybody opens the page, it will ask allow your location. And what we will do, we'll say that, okay, allow the location. Then it should get the current city and show. That means how browser knows our location. For that, JavaScript provides a navigator object. But later in JavaScript objects, you will learn that navigator object gets the latitude and longitude. Based on latitude and longitude, we can understand from which city he is. And automatically that city data it will bring and show. That means they don't need to enter the city name. By allowing location, it will get it and show. For that, they have another API. For that, they are having another API. Usually, we are having our APIs, and there are so many APIs based on city name, city ID, latitude, longitude. We can use different. Right? This is one basic example of weather API. I hope you understood. Here, our concept of fetching is very simple. That means what we are using, collecting city name from text box, and we are passing in the URL. API key metrics you are mentioning how much. The data is coming in a JSON, understanding data and presenting. What is the key? What is the value in that? Where which value is present? This is important for a developer. If you can't understand JSON, you can't do anything related to web technology. Earlier, we need to depend on a lot of XML. Even today, several projects use XML. That means data will not be in JSON. It is in an XML form. But majority now we are using. Now tell me what is it? What is the request type here? We learned communication as what? Communication as SOAP, communication as REST as what? JSON. Currently, what is this? Is it SOAP or REST or JSON? It is REST. Why? In REST, the request will be in a simple query. Response will be in a JSON. If it is SOAP, request is in XML, response is in XML. So if it is JSON, request and response both are in JSON. So this is RESTful service. That means we are using a REST and define. And see, only one data is coming, we are presenting. Now imagine if data is a little more complex, then creating such presentation is important. And remember, they haven't given searching, filtering and all. We implemented. What they are giving, just data. What is our job? We want different. Suppose if anybody asked you, like, put the city names in a drop down, and user will select a city and it should show the detail of that particular city. How? That is nothing complicated. We can implement that also. That means search by city. If you want user to select a city from the drop down, we can select, right? We can select. When user selects a city, we can get the data and display it. That means how you implement a drop down. For example, you see here somewhere. So here I have a select. So option, we have like select city, and we have an option Delhi. So we have an option Hyderabad, and we have an option Chennai, like this. And you have you see a drop down is present. A drop down is present. Suppose we are having a class form select. So that is the form select class we are having. Now when user selects a city, and the city weather should come. We can do it. That's not any complicated thing. That means we can get that and we can show that. Actually, so here what we have to do, we have to write an event for this. What is it? On change. On change, city change. On city change, we have to collect the ID LST cities. That means now what we do here is city name. City name, I will declare this city name as a global variable. It is initially empty. It is not known. And here city name will be coming from text box. And we will write another function. What is it? So function is what? City change. On city change, what we need to do? So city name. City name is coming from document dot get element by ID. What is it? LST cities. LST cities dot what value? That is drop down value. Now after that, what it has to do is all this work it has to do again. All this work it has to do again. Then usually what we do is, if all this work has to be done again, we will write that as a function. Load weather data. And this function will have the code. Now what we do? On search click, city name will come from text box and load weather data. On city change, the value will come from list box. After that, what we have to do? Load weather data. We need to load weather data in two situations. That means here, when user selects a city, it should get that and display. When user selects a city, it should get that and display. That means we can select from a drop down. Right? We can select from a drop down. The same logic we are implementing on different areas. That means this here I will say, I'll say is frequently viewed, like this I'm giving. That means we will keep that frequently viewed here. What they frequently view. So suppose some other city name they are typing there, some other city name they are typing, it will get that and it will show. If they are choosing anything, it will get that and display. You can implement in anything. That means we can use anything. Actually, we can do lot of complex later. That means what? If anybody is searching, what he frequently searched, those details we can add here now. We can do that also. That means the drop down contains empty, and drop down will be updating itself according to what they are recently searching. We can put top recently searched 5, recently searched 4. Anything else will be replacing the old one and keeping this. We can do that. How do we do? Whatever they are typing here, we can store in an arena. We can store in an array, and that we can add into this list. That means now this drop down is not fixed, it will contain data. This is one basic, this is one example how we manage. So I will copy this example and I will paste this example. This is the data coming from API. This is an example of how we create an weather API, a simple weather API is how we can use. This is simple data actually. Simple data means only one object which contains some array, some string, some object. Let's take little more complex data, more complicated data. And how do we present the data? With a lot of interactions. Suppose you can try, suppose we have another website. This is, you can try NASA API. NASA have an website of api.nasa.gov. You can try this. You can use this API NASA website. You see now we have an api.nasa.gov. This is NASA website. Actually, this is official website of United States government, official NASA website. But this is not for scientists. This is for software developers. And why they have a website for software developers? Because you see, the objective of this site is to make NASA data accessible to app developers. That means if you are a developer, you are building apps for colleges, schools, universities related to space, science, technology, and whatever data you need for different reasons, they will provide some free data to you. That means space, planetary data, everything they will provide free. Data means pictures, videos, everything. Now what you can do, you see here also get a API key. Actually, they have a demo key. Demo key is not permanent. With demo key limited only. Limited means, remember, whenever you are working with these APIs, sometimes it will take time for the server to respond. Sometimes they may not respond. That depends on server. So you know already you are using Bootstrap CDN. I already told you CDNs. When you are using Bootstrap CDN, you need to connect with internet every time. If their server is down, you cannot access the data. What you do, visit this website and enter your name, first name, email, and you will sign up. You will just get a API key. Again, same like you saw weather API key, you will get a API key in your email. And you can copy that API key. Now go to browse APIs. They will show you a lot of APIs. These are different APIs they are having. Suppose I selected Mars rover photos. Mars rover photos, you can see this is the Mars rover photos. Mars rover photos, you can see they give you the URL. And when I click, this is all the data this is having. And this is more complex data. This is more complex data. and see what is the data it is having. What it is returning? Object. One object, but in that one object there is a property called photos. Photos is what type? Array. It is again array of objects. And every object is having ID, sol, camera. Camera is again object. It is having image source, rover. Rover is again object. One object related details. We are having so many object related details here. That means hundreds, thousands of photos data is available. Now, what is our job? You see, camera name, rover name, on which date it is launched, when it is taken, everything will be there. What is the job of developer? Developer job is create a UI, in that show the photos, put some pagination, per page 100 photos, like that. They will not give any pagination. We have to design the logic in that way. Another, they will say that put the filters. Filters like when I select camera, only that camera photos should come. I select a rover name, only rover name should come. I enter some date, only the date related photos should come. These all they don't give, they just give data. You have to design the interface. You have to write the logic, filter the data, get the data and display. How to filter the data, you know, you learned about array filter method, array find method. You learned how to find filter the data. That means the point is presenting this kind of data is also important. So this is one data. Let me copy this URL. And you see, this is the photos data coming. We'll do one thing. Every photo is an object. Every photo has a lot of details. I will print photo ID. I will print the camera full name, which camera took that photo. I will print the image and I will print the rover name, which rover took the photo. Only these details I want in a card style. That means I want all these photos to be displayed in a card style, in a card appearance I want, not like a table. We can design like table, what we done yesterday. I want a card style. Then see how we do this. Temporarily I am using demo key, but demo key have problem. They will allow only every day 4 or 5 times request. In 1 hour you can request only 3 or 4 times. If you want more requests, then get the official key. Even you get the official key, they have hourly limits. That means every hour you can make these many requests only. Per day you can make only these many requests. Like that they have limitations. So you see now, I will copy this. Okay, let's try to create a presentation here. I'm using NASA API.html. Let's get the data. This is the page. I will link relation style sheet and href node modules, bootstrap, font, CSS, link relation style sheet, href node modules, bootstrap dist CSS, bootstrap.css. Because I need a card style, so I will keep the class as container fluid and I keep a heading as Mars rover photos. And here I want to display a section. In this section, I will keep class as deflex, flex wrap. I'm just using this. In this section, I want all the photos and I want that on load. That means what we will do on load. On load, what is it? Body load. Okay, on body load, let's write the script function body load. And on body load, we will declare the URL is this. I can directly use the URL, no problem. But for just reusability sake, I will keep this in the variable. directly we can use that URL. Directly how you will use the URL, we can use what? Fetch from this particular URL. You can directly paste it, no problem. Right? And what is it? Then we have a function response and return response dot JSON. And we have another, then what is it? Function. This is data. And now this data is what type? The data is an object type. In that object, only one key is there. What is it? Photos. That photos is array. In that array, we have objects. That means now this data is expecting. The data is expecting a key called photos. Photos is an array. Then we have to use a map. Function read every photo. And for every photo, we need to create a card. How you will create a card? To create a row, we have create element tr. How to create a card? Generally in HTML, how you designed a card? To design a card, which element you use? To design a card, which element you use? Div. We use a div na. The div becomes a card when you give the class as card. So to create a card, there is no card element. You have to create which element? Div. So we have to create a div document dot what? Create element, which one? Div. But how to make this div as a card? That means div dot what? Class name. What is the class name? Card. Margin 2, padding 2. I will apply event div dot style dot width as 200 pixel. Every card 200 pixel. Now, inside the card, we have three sections: card header, card body, card footer. So what I will do? Div dot what? Inner HTML. Inside this, we will put an image at the top first. This image will have a class called card image top. And this image source is coming from, where it is coming from? Photo.img underscore srs. Actually, that is the image source they have. You see their data, img underscore srs. That is the picture source. That is the picture source. So that we are applying. Height I give as some 140, 130 pixels. After that image, we will have a div. This div will have a class as what? Card image top. Sorry, this is card header. In the card header, I have a heading. I have a heading. Here I want the photo ID. That means I will give photo dot what? ID. I want the photo ID in the header. Okay. After that, I will create another div. This I will put a class as card body. In the card body, I want to display data list. In the data list, I want to display data term. Here we want camera name. I want the camera name. So data term. For this, I will put a camera's icon also. BI camera. Okay. And here I want to display the camera name. How to display the camera name here? We have to access, what is it? Photo dot what? Camera. Camera dot what? Full underscore. What it is? Name. That is the camera full name. Okay. Next, another term. I want class as BI rover. Rover is actually rocket. Rocket. Okay. And here I say rover. And data term. Data definition. I want the rover. What is it? Photo dot rover dot name. You see the details, it will show all the data, keys, names and all. Okay, that's ready. Your card is ready. Where to add this card? This card must be added into section document dot what? Query selector. What is it? Section. Into section, we have to append child. Which one? Div. That means now you can see all the data will come and display here. Let's run this and see the Mars rover photos. It will display all of them. And we are displaying a card style. All the photos are displayed in a card style. And here, our job is to implement functionalities. That's all depends on your presentation skill. That means suppose 250 pixel I am giving width. All these are displayed with width like this. Now what I want is, see, I want here this. I want here this photo clickable. And when I click the photo should open full screen in a new tab. How? I want that photo clickable. When I click, it should open the photo in a new tab. There is nothing special. What we have to do, this image, I will make in a anchor. Anchor means it makes clickable. And what should be the href? Href, it should be photo.imgsrc. That means it will navigate to the image original source when link is clicked. And where it should open? Target is what? Underscore blank. Is underscore blank. That means when what happens here? When I click on this, it will open the photo in a new tab. That's full screen. It will open that. So that means it is going to display the photo full screen and show. And you just click on these images and those images will display full screen here. These are the functionalities you implement. This is not something anybody teaches you. That means in interviews, they ask these kind of requirements. And that's not that somebody teach you and you will learn about it. You have to get immediate idea till now what you learned in HTML. How you'll make a photo clickable. You have a link, anchor. Anchor purpose is what? Clickable text, clickable picture, clickable graphic. Right? That's what we discussed, that you need to be perfect in your HTML, CSS. Right? Then you will get presentation ideas. You will get presentation ideas. JavaScript is just logic. It will not give you presentation ideas. Where to create, which one to create, entire HTML, CSS you need to depend. And here they will ask like filters. Filters like put a text box, user can type, put a drop down, user can select. When user selects, only those should come. Like that, they will ask you various queries. Right. So this is another example of API, and this is the NASA API. This is another example for that. And remember, I am still using a demo key. Demo key will give you limited access. You have to remove this demo key and put your key. Whatever you get in your registered email, you have to put that. Then they will give you unlimited access. Actually, they have so many APIs. You can try these APIs. This is api.nasa.gov. Browse APIs. And all APIs may not have the similar data actually. Huh? Suppose video library, they give the endpoints here. You see, they have a complete documentation for that. They have more options, I think. That means they will give you the data. They will give you all the endpoints of API. They will give you how the requests can be made, what type of data will come, what is the URL for the data, what kind of data it will return. They will give you all that content here that you can use to embed the content and use the content. Some documentations also they give to you to make you understand what they are having. Our job is to understand this data and create a presentation for the data. That means how you will think, how you will put a video, how you will put a image, depending on what result is coming. If an embedded URL like YouTube embedded URL is coming, then what you do, we can use an iframe to embed it. We'll see different examples. We'll see another example for filtering, searching type of content. We will see another shopping food store like APIs. We will see how do we present their data, how to create interactions important. Interactions means what? Filtering, sorting, searching, we should able to implement in that. So where you can get more APIs, how we can use their data, we will see some more example that we will see tomorrow. Right? First you try these two, then tomorrow we will learn some more about API. How you get the API, create interactions, little bit different data. We'll see how we can use it. Tomorrow we'll continue. Still you are in data types. Understood? You are still in JavaScript data types and you are learning about array and object. Now we have more types: map type, date and type, regular expression. How to use those data types you will see. After data types, operators, statements, functions, all these topics will come. Right? These all examples you are learning under the data type of array and object. Right? Tomorrow we will see some more. Okay? Right. Yes, sir. What is your doubt?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sir, in real time, who will create the account and who will provide the this API key in
Backend,
real?
backend,
Okay, sir.
backend people.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.